It is currently 5:30. Sometimes I wake up at this time, sometimes I go to bed at this time. And today might just be a day that we don't do either. You know, as you guys can see, I look pretty rough right now. And not just rough in the sense of like not having shaved, but, I'm significantly thinner. I have not had great nutrition over the last few months. So I know my health is really important. I don't know. I kind of just get in these weird ruts where when I run out of resources, I tend to kind of just, I don't know. I don't know if weight is the right word to say, but like things just aren't really moving right now. And part of that is like obviously me not putting in inputs for things to move, but it's like also just not wanting to start moving on the wrong path, which I don't know. It's strange because I guess knowing when you're going to stop something is important, because then it's like the two times when I started on a path that was beneficial for a time, but like after a while it felt like I was moving on the wrong path was like with Vivint and then with window cleaning. And while they were different scenarios, had I looked at Vivint and joined with the intention of leaving by the end of the summer, I think I would have gone about it differently, both like during the summer and after I'd gotten back. Because like after I got back, I was like, oh well, I'll just do this for another summer. I got like wrapped into it. It was so weird because like I didn't want to, but I didn't know what else to do. With Windows, it was different. I was looking for a stepping stone towards a larger goal, and I was trying to like figure out how to balance doing all of it at the same time, like working on software, building a platform and a network around it, while also getting involved in a blue collar business. And I should have just looked at it like, okay, 2025, 9 year, this isn't going to be the forever thing, but what could I do this year that would have the highest impact? One thing probably would have been just building that Windows business, cleaning as many people as I could in the area, but nonetheless, it's all learning experiences. So right now, I've got a different idea. It's been this land that I've been looking at for a while over by Lake Fern, and this land, this is the stepping stone towards the big goal. Even this home service community fund, I mean, like, it's a cool goal, but like it's not the goal. It's not the big goal. That itself is going to be a major stepping stone. But I think this is closer aligned, and it still allows me to actually accomplish that goal. So it's two birds with one stone, you know? And so if I get this land, like the goal is to use this land as a magnet, where instead of like knocking door to door and, like it works, trust me, it works. But like everybody and their mama doing it now, right? And it's like, can I compete with them? Yeah, but like, do I want to compete, or would I rather just dominate at my own game of my own design? Like nobody thinks the way I do. So instead of knocking door to door and building a big sales team and competing with all the other guys who have skills in the door-to-door space and know how to build a sales team and train and recruit guys and all this type of thing, instead of that being the main driver, what if instead we used a magnet, something that was extremely cool to access, that nobody else, unless you are a client of our company, has access to? And that was kind of this idea, build and develop a piece of land into an equestrian orchard where you could ride horses and shoot archery on horseback, and also have massive fruit trees and um, resting places, obelisks, things that naturally embedded into nature we can experience through this piece of land. And like, I'm still learning how to actually convey the vision, because like the vision is so, like, I know what I want this to look like, but it's like getting it from my head to somebody else's head. The messenger aspect is the thing that I gotta really step on right now. So, if we have this orchard and we have this beautiful place that people can come to, it's private access, you only get access to it if you're a client, then I had a feeling like that would be a lot cooler of a way to grow through word of mouth rather than just knocking door to door, and that being, competing on price, competing on charm. Why not just be the guy in the community who has the land, and you get access to the land if you use our company, which is also locally ran and hires locally. Like, no brainer. So it's worked through a few different iterations because I've had to creatively think about how to acquire this land, who the land is going to be for, like what's actually going to be on the land. And like the main idea has stayed pretty much the same. I've thought about just doing it through just wealthy people. But I am more drawn to just doing it like more so community based. Like I really like the communities of Bexley and of Starkey, which like communities are just people. So there's going to be good people, there's going to be bad people. But regardless, there's quality people in these communities, and there's a lot of people in these communities. So realistically, it feels like something that is meant to be a community project. I do still want it to have like a private feel to it. Like I don't want it to feel like a Busch Gardens. I want it to be low density as far as like when people are on the property, but like part of the goal is also having this as a rainy day type of storage facility where, well, I should say a dry day, because really like we have groundwater filters that do reverse osmosis. So like when the water table rises, it pushes the water through filters that are in these ground storage units. And in those ground storage units, we also store freeze-dried food from the orchard, from local farms. And so in the event like there was ever a situation where the grid went out, or, we had no access to gasoline, or like there was just some type of insane event going on and people couldn't access food, there would be food there. High nutrient dense food that is very compact. So I also want this to be a place where the best people in Florida can come together to start talking about what needs to actually get done. Because right now we have billions of tons of or maybe not billions, but there's large amounts of phosphogypsum stacks in Florida. And if you don't know what that is, it's pretty much this byproduct from mining phosphorus, which is used for fertilizer, but they're like mildly radioactive waste stacks that pretty much just get filled up and sealed off, kind of like a landfill, but it ain't a good thing if you got to dump that, in an emergency. And just look back 4 years as to what we had to do in Tampa Bay, and you can know exactly what I'm talking about. 200 million gallons of wastewater dumped into the bay. Algae blooms, dead fish, whole ecological situation, which I'm pretty sure still we have some impacts from. So, all this to say, I know the land I want to buy. Revenue-wise, the thought is, we can, like, this is kind of my thoughts with how to even get it, right? Like, first I need the money to just get a right to buy the land, right? Nobody else. It's under contract, and we have an agreement so we can actually start developing the land while we work on purchasing it, so that we can increase the value. Because this is another reason I like the idea of doing it through a community. I can literally source the labor from the people who invest into purchasing the property. And if that's the case, then we can put in the infrastructure for water and electricity, and that would heighten the value of the land itself, which means we can get a better loan to asset ratio and be able to, obviously finance the purchase if we don't raise the full asking price, which is a pretty hefty chunk of change. So, but as far as after the land is purchased, the goal would be that everybody who's involved with purchasing the land, they're our clients, and they also just help us permeate through the rest of their neighborhood for home service clients. Window cleaning is where I started, but landscaping, pool cleaning, reoccurring services that people would benefit from and already, for the most part, use on a pretty wide basis. Because realistically, if you make $100K a year, why are you cleaning your lawn or doing your lawn unless you really love doing your lawn? But you don't get paid to do your lawn. So if you don't love it, why are you doing it? It don't make sense. So with that being said, we have these home service companies that are owned by the same people who helped us purchase this land. And the only people who can invest into this fund that owns the land and owns home service companies are people who live within those communities or live within the Odessa area. Now, if you move, obviously you can keep your stuff, but it's we want to incentivize only people who care about the community to invest in the community. So, obviously right now, I've got a tank top and some shorts, some cotton shorts, and I'm maybe eating 1,000 to 1,500 calories a day. It's been pretty rough on the energy reserves. I do know there are businesses that are looking for part-time work, people to work part-time, I should say, near where that land is. So I know that's something that we can explore, but I also, I have door-to-door experience, and I am comfortable talking to people. Right now, I just, it's not the most confident thing to be this rough and not have proper clothes, and obviously I'm having to just even bro, I've ran out of gas multiple times and had to walk home multiple times, which fucking sucks. So I don't want to keep doing that. I need a little bit of income, but I need something that's still flexible and doesn't require me to grind like a motherfucker. So what I really need is a team. I need to start building other people, who can actually just work with me, right? So my goal is there's a few goals. I want to start knocking door to door again, but I want to knock for this land. I want to talk to people about getting involved with the purchase, and also getting involved with the labor. And then the other side is that I want to, start putting together a workforce, a group of local people who can help with labor, obviously on our own projects, but labor that can generate some income, help get other people paid, and I don't have to worry about getting paid. Because realistically, if I help generate $10,000 in profit for people to take home to their families, I should be able to earn at least $2,000 off of that, in my opinion. 20/80 rule. I think a 20/80 rule is a really great rule for business. That's something we're going to incorporate pretty heavy into how we kind of structure our business models going forward, because labor is the most important component. So we want to incentivize people to bring on the right people. But like I said, if I help generate $10,000 in profit per month, $2,000 goes to me, then it's pretty decent, you know? And actually, if we think about the math right now, because I don't even think I've really done this, but 10,000, and let's say we divide it by 20 per hour, right? Because that's realistically a realistic wage. Like, that's $40K a year. You should be able to pay your people $40K a year. So $20 an hour, divide 10,000 by $20 an hour is like, what is that? Oh man, I used to be so fast with math. Something I do that. It's like 500 though. But 500, and then you divided that by 4 again, so now you're sitting at like 125 hours. So I need to just find 125 hours worth of work, and then I need to find, I could find 10 people who want to do 12 and a half hours. I can find 5 people who want to do 20 something hours. There's different ways I can do it, but I need to get that work lined up. I also need to get flyers. I need to do both simultaneously, because that's kind of where I shot myself in the foot with window cleaning. Like, you want to do both. You want to get workers pretty much as fast as you're hiring, pretty much as fast as you're booking jobs, so that way you can have momentum sustained. But the nice part about doing it this way is I can get agreements in place with these people who are looking for part-time workers, and then now I have reoccurring business instead of just one-time cleans or a clean every quarter. I need daily shit, because then I can just scale the fuck out of the people side. So I need to stop using profanity as much. I like using profanity. It's fun, but it's like, they call it cursing for a reason. So like, I don't know if I want to do it, But yeah, I got to do more of these videos, because like, it's really for me, right? Like, I like being able to look back at different times and observe how my mind has grown. And at the same time, like, there's different reasons for it. Like, I ain't always going to be like this right now. I look, it's funny because I'm malnourished, and it's not even about looking good, to be honest. Like, that's something I guess I got to work on in my head. I want to be healthy more than I want to be looking good. Because if you're healthy, you will look good naturally. But all this just to say, like, I will look back at this video in 5 years, probably less time than that, and I will see the difference between how your boy is looking right now and how your boy, how that man is looking in due time. So it's not even about being all shaped up. Like, I need to eat, and I need to eat good food, like proper food. So again, financial stability will allow me to do this, obviously. And I think if I focus on the labor portion, that was where I had a bottleneck, finding quality people. So I know all these people also deal with the same thing, or else why else would they have a sign on the side of the road? They're obviously dealing with it. So I think it's a good thing that I can solve. If I solve that, I'll solve every other problem for myself. So, yeah, I got to get on that. That's the other side too, because like, I should be talking to a minimum of 8 people per day about that land. And if I've got momentum, I'm going to carry the momentum. But 8 people per day about the land will sharpen my ability to convey the idea about the land. And if I do that, then we should be looking pretty golden. So, yes, sir. With that being said, I will see me on the next video. This is for me. I don't care if you're me or somebody else watching this. You and I are the same. So, Till the next.